Welcome back, my formless seekers. Welcome to the space where we shed the heavy layers of who we think we are to discover who we have always been. I am your guide, Guru J, and I am honored to walk this pathless path with you yet again. Now, today, we are not discussing theories or any complex structures. We are sitting around the fire to share a story of truth. Truth is a funny thing. We often chase it like it is a trophy to be won or a destination that has to be reached. But in the formless way, truth is not something you find. It is something you reveal by removing everything that is or was false. Now let's take a breath together and listen in to the story of the Hollow Flute. Once, in a land where the fog never lifted, there lived a young musician named Kael. Kael was so obsessed with playing the perfect note. He believed that if he could play this single, perfect sound, the fog would lift and he would finally see the face of God. Kael spent years carving his own flutes. He used the hardest wood, thinking strength was the key. He carved intricate symbols into the bark, thinking knowledge was the key. He polished the wood with expensive oils, thinking purity was the key. But every time he played, the sound was dull. It was heavy. It sounded like effort, not music. One day, frustrated and weeping, Kael threw his expensive flute into the river. He wandered into the deep forest, empty-handed and broken-hearted. There he met an old woman sitting on a mossy rock. She held a simple piece of bamboo in her lap. It was rough, unpolished, and open at both ends. "Why do you cry, seeker?" the old woman asked. "I cannot play the perfect note," Kyle replied. "I have carved the best wood and studied the ancient rhythms, but my music is dead." The old woman smiled and held up her bamboo. "The problem," she whispered, "is that you are too full." Kyle was confused. "Full of what?" "Full of yourself," she said gently. "You fill your instrument with your desire to be great, your fear of failure, and your need for the fog to lift. The music cannot pass through you because you are blocking the way." She handed him the rough bamboo. "This flute has no carvings. It has no oil. It is simply empty. It does not try to be a flute. It just allows the breath to flow." Kyle took the bamboo. He stopped trying to be a master musician. He stopped trying to banish the fog. He simply took a breath and exhaled into the hollowness of the wood. When he did, a sound rang out. It was not loud, but it was pure. It did not clear the fog instantly, but for the first time, the fog didn't matter. The music was the truth, and the truth was that the fog and the clear sky were the same. My friends, this story is about us. We are often like Kael. We build up our identities, our bodies, our careers, and our beliefs. We carve complex symbols into our personalities, thinking that if we add more to ourselves, we will finally be worthy. We think truth is something we construct, but the Formless Guide teaches us the exact opposite. You are the bamboo. Consciousness is the breath. When you are full of I am this or I am that, the breath of the universe gets stuck. You experience resistance, anxiety, and heaviness. The truth we are speaking of today is the power of emptiness. To be hollow, in this sense, does not mean you lack purpose. It means you lack obstruction. It means you have cleared out the clutter of the ego so that life can play its music through you without distortion. For this week, I want you to practice being the hollow flute. When you feel the pressure to be someone or to prove a point, I want you to pause, visualize yourself as that empty piece of bamboo, and ask yourself these questions. 1. Am I trying to force the music? 2. Am I blocking the flow with my need to control the outcome? 3. Can I step aside and let the breath of life move through me? The truth isn't the heavy stone you carry. The truth is the wind that passes through the open window. It requires nothing from you but your openness and your compassion. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being brave enough to sit in the silence with me. Now remember, the formless state is not a destination. It is the realization that you were never the carvings on the wood. You were always the space inside. Walk lightly this week. Be hollow. Let the music play. I am Guru J. This is the Formless Guide. Signing off.